Yep.
Other teams, surprising to the downside. I don't know if it's too much of a shock, but the Dolphins, 0-2. The way they played against Indy in week 1 and then losing at home in week 2, and then this explanation from Mike McDaniel has me scratching my head. Have a listen.
To win games, you have to win the game, not lose the game, honestly. And that is how you lose the game. You're moving the ball down the field. You're 1st and 10, and then you find yourself at 2nd and 20.
What? What are we talking about?
That's a broken man, Danny.
It is, but you know what? So I'll give him this. It's who he is.
Yeah.
He is a mercurial,
quirky
coach. I mean, he's always done that. I think he's a real fun coach.
Yeah.
But I think that's a part of the problem because I think the fun coach is the one that the players walk on.
Yeah.
And I think he's lost the locker room and their respect for a head coach.
Right.
Like there is no fear of Mike McDaniel. And I think there always has to be a healthy fear of a head coach that if I don't listen to him, if I don't do what he's saying, if I don't prepare the way I'm supposed to, maybe I'll get cut. You know, maybe I'm not going to be his best friend. Maybe I'm going to find myself looking for work. I don't think anybody has that fear anymore. And even more so, we were just talking about confidence. I think Tua is somebody who is once again struggling with his confidence because at the end of the Brian Flores tenure from Miami, Brian Flores called him out publicly in front of the locker room. And Tua has admitted that it crushed his confidence and it really almost derailed his career. Now he's got a coach who remember the conversation on the FaceTime when Mike McDaniel's like, I'm here to help you and I'm going to make you great. And he was for a while. With Tua struggling early this season with interceptions, he had a few bad throws against Indy. I think Tua's confidence is shot.
Yeah.
And I have serious doubts about whether Mike McDaniel and this regime, because I think it's Chris Greer as well, I don't think they survive the season.
I mean, the way it's looking so far, it doesn't look
They were
promising.
already on the hot seat kind of coming in.
Your star players are always acting. I mean, Tyreek Hill, is he in? Is he out? Is he happy? Is he pissed? You know what I mean? And then, and Tua's made some quotes over the last – something came out right before we aired where he's like bigging up Josh Allen, but he almost like demeans himself at the same time. Like, he's twice the runner I am, or I can do half the things he does running. And I'm like, you can't be telling people that. And then he had that quote to Tyreek Hill where he's like, I don't think I can get the ball out there for you, so be ready to stop on it. And it's like, it may be true, but you can't say that. You know what I mean? You put a bad taste in the receiver's mouth that way. Like,
I feel like Tua and Tyreek's relationship is, if it's not broken, it's severely damaged because Tyreek at the end of last year said, get me out of here.
Yeah.
He wanted to see a trade.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I was actually proud of Tua because he didn't just bow down to Tyreek and say, sure, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I asked him about it. I talked to Tua during training camp, and he was like, no. He's like, this is something that has to be rebuilt and only takes time.
Right.
And now that the season's starting 0-2 and you're not finding that same rhythm and the ability to get Tyreek the ball, I wonder how that locker room is unfolding right now.
Well, Tyreek did go for 100 this week, but the rest of the guys are like their numbers are way down.
Right.
And it's I've actually heard rumor. Obviously, we don't know, but we were just talking about it before about Patrick getting that burner back. I was hearing rumors about him maybe going back.
Yeah.
And I don't know how true that is. But the thing with Tyreek is he's a mercurial one, like you said.
Yeah.
It's never too long where he's happy and content and quiet. So I take whatever he says with like a grain of salt, like the same as he was ready to get out of there.
But it does wear on you. After a while, it's like,
tiring.
all right, is the juice worth the squeeze with
100.
Tyreek Hill?
Well,
Like, you're great and you can get me all these catches, but is it worth having to listen to you chirp to the media, to ask for trades, to get arrested before a game, to be a story off the field all off season? Like, at some point, the production isn't worth it.
And we've seen it happen and Tyreek Hill there's probably 12 receivers better than Tyreek Hill ever, but we've seen it happen to the likes of Terrell Owens. Wears out his welcome.
Antonio
Randy
Brown.
Moss wears out his welcome. Antonio Brown wears out his welcome. And if those guys can be moved, Tyreek Hill can be moved. It does. It gets stale. It gets tiring. And having a harmonious locker room in football and in the NFL of all places is vital.